Update on whatever it is they're doing with those Big Thunder Trail caves. The downtown Disney parking lot project is nearing completion, but we have some interesting progress happening at the other mystery building, and work has begun for Oogie Boogie Bash at Redwood Creek Challenge. All this and more coming up next on Fresh Baked. Hi guys, David here with Fresh Baked with updates on construction projects going on around the Disneyland Resort, and we'll start with our new mystery from last week, the Big Thunder Trail Caves. Last week, we wondered what they were doing, but we struggled to figure it out because we had the wrong camera with us. So we brought out Grandpa to get a better look because some jobs can only be done by Grandpa. The first tunnel, this tunnel, still a total mystery. Try as I might, the entire area is shrouded in trees and scrim. Couldn't see a darn thing besides the scaffolding, the top part of the scaffolding, and somebody's construction vest being used as a flag. The other tunnel, though, gave us a little more. Tried to look low at first, but not much to see there. But as we turned a bit, the entire area came into focus. Last week, I mentioned that I saw what I thought was some kind of metal mesh covering the rockwork. This week, I thought I saw it again. But as we kept going around the corner toward the dock, I got in close again and found that it's not the mesh. I mean, it could have been there before. But this week, it's just paint. Looks like a base or a primer coat before putting on the rockwork's final coloring. So this seems to have solved the mystery of what they were doing. Sort of, anyway. They're repainting the rockwork. But it doesn't answer the real question, though, which is the question I still had last week, and that is, why? I mean, this one I kind of understand because the rocks are visible, but I would be shocked if there was even one person watching this video right now who has said recently, wow, that rockwork needs an update. Shame on you, Disney. Heck, I doubt many even look in that direction. And this is doubly true for the first tunnel. You can't see the rockwork from the river. You just can't see it. And by the way, before I go any further, this is not a complaint. If they are, in fact, just freshening up the rockwork, I am thrilled. Very happy to see them do this. I encourage it. Anytime you make things fresh and new looking, I'm all for it. They've been doing the same thing on Main Street, actually, by the way. New paint on some of the Main Street buildings. I'm digressing. There's new paint on some of the Main Street buildings. Nobody will even notice. They just do it, quietly, and it looks like it always does. But there's fresh paint there. But anyway, it just feels like there has to be some other reason for Disney to go through all this trouble. I mean, unless there is no, sometimes, you know what, I said this to Ian once when we were talking about turning the Main Street or the horse-drawn streetcar tracks to the left instead of the right, and he said, why? And I said, don't need a reason. Don't need a reason, they're just doing it for the heck of it. Maybe that's what they're doing here. I was, though, with Liz when I filmed this, and she got a little bit excited at the prospect of them bringing back the mine train ride. She thought, that was her first thought, as I'm sure a lot of people were thinking this. But I said, there's no possible chance of this happening. But for those who want to have some fun with it, here's a reference shot of the track right now that connects those two tunnels. This is how it exists today. It's in very bad shape. There's the boulders, of course, which would prevent any train from making a Grand Circle tour around that side of the river. But there's also all the growth around the track. It's even bent and broken in a few spots. So if you're ever curious about whether or not this could ever happen, watch those tracks. If you see someone take a weed whacker to this section, raise the red flag and shout us out here at Fresh Baked and let us know what you've seen, and we'll get our eyes on it. But I have a feeling this is just painting on the rockwork. Before we move on, let's back up just a bit on the river so we can find that the Shaman has been removed from his perch. Not sure why, probably just routine maintenance, but we'll keep an eye on him or wait for his return. I do hope he's okay, though, as he's kind of a big deal, I think. I've had a cast member tell me that this animatronic, the Shaman animatronic, was once one of the early Abraham Lincolns at the Opera House. This guy used to be Abraham Lincoln. Don't know how true this is, but it would be really cool if it were. Okay, down the river again, no visible update from this seating area, but the door is open, which means someone's been in there recently, at least. We'll go to Main Street next to the Silhouette Studio. The windows have been covered in a plastic sheet of some kind on the inside. Now, some thought this might be a bad sign, a sign that the shop may be closing soon, but I believe it's the opposite. I believe this is a a sign that it's opening soon. Mostly because of an earlier report we made a couple weeks ago that an ad had been placed by Disney for artists who can do this exact task, making paper silhouettes of guests. So I don't feel like they would put that ad out there and then close the silhouette studio. So my guess is they're probably putting in new art on the window, a new stencil perhaps. They're updating the graphics on there, something to that effect. So stay tuned. No change at Tarzan's Treehouse, but I did happen to notice on this trip that the signs on the walls had been removed. Now, this may not be news. I'm almost positive it's not news, but it's news to me in the sense that this is the first time I've really noticed it and it's registered. And I'm wondering if this is because it's no longer Tarzan's Treehouse. It's something else. It's somebody else's treehouse, so they can't put that sign up there anymore. They can't say Tarzan's Treehouse is returning soon because it's not, ever, again. Let's check in next on an old mystery that got solved real quick, the downtown Disney parking lot tree situation. All the trees and planters were removed, and this week the new trees have arrived. Many have been planted. Some areas are still in the form phase, with trees standing by ready to be planted when the planters are ready. Quick question though. If the reason the trees were removed, as it was reported to me earlier, if the reason the trees were removed was because they were leaving a mess on the ground and on the parked cars, will those pink things blossoming on these new trees also be messy? I don't know trees, so I couldn't say. I'm not positive. Fresh Baked, I know that there's some arborists out there who know better than I do. Can you identify these trees and whether or not they are messy? Fresh Baked, let us know. While we're in the area, I thought I'd check in on our old mystery that had sort of gone into hibernation over the past month or so. We had seen no progress, but it's back out of hibernation with crews, actual crews visible working on it. From here, we could see that they removed whatever scrim or covering had been over the building, and so we headed over to the Lilo lot for a better look. And yes, lo and behold, it's something. Something that's nearly approaching what could be described as a finished exterior. I have no idea what it is, though. It doesn't look like anything I would recognize as in terms of, it's not Disney. It's not Starbucks. It's not an Earl of Sandwich. It's modern looking, angular. It definitely does not belong in the Lilo parking lot. Whatever it is that they're building here, it's not going to stay here. So that part of our early guesswork seems correct, that this thing being built out in the parking lot, but it's going somewhere else. Because if they were building this for the parking lot, it wouldn't look like that. It wouldn't. They wouldn't bother. It would look like a temporary structure. This looks like a finished structure with design and aesthetic. So where it's going, I don't know. I asked Twitter, and I got a wide array of responses. Laramie said it was the new guest complaint center, which was humorous. The new Legacy Key Lounge, because that's funny. Because Magic Keys are dying and they need a place to put. What's going to happen to the Magic Key Lounge when the Magic Keys expired? Are they going to just not let anybody in? Who's going to go into the Magic Key Lounge when that expires? They put all that time and money into making this thing the Magic Key Lounge. You know what? It's not. Magic Keys are coming back. Anyway, somebody else suggested it's a McDonald's fry cart. And another suggestion that it's a very small IKEA, which I like this one because it looks kind of like what, if IKEA was going to build something in a parking lot, that's what it looked like. But on a more serious note, the most common thought was that it was a mock-up of something else that's being built. Say, for example, the DVC tower that's currently under construction at the Disneyland Hotel, which we're going to look at in a second. Except the color schemes are completely different. I mean, this doesn't look anything like what they're presenting to us in the concept art. Or it's a mock-up to test materials. Except, why would they build it all angular and arty like that if they were just testing materials? Now, I don't know. I'm not a smart person when it comes to this kind of thing, so I can't say for sure. But in the end, I am 100% still mystified by the structure and very much looking forward to the day when I learn what it is so I can say, oh, that's it? Because I have a feeling, I'm positive, that's what I'm going to say when it's done. Oh, big deal over nothing. Caught some shots of crews working on the aforementioned DVC wing of the Disneyland Hotel. Bad angle to shoot from at this time with the sun behind it casting a shadow over everything, but it's definitely taking shape. We'll head to downtown Disney next to check in on Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen. The new paint job is almost complete. It's all white and gray on this side here. Upstairs middle is nearly done with just a little bit of red on that left side, while downstairs middle is not yet done, nor is the red in the interior part, though I've heard that they've closed the upper section and they're working construction-wise on the top deck right now. And I'm wondering if they're going to be replacing the wood feature here, which has clearly seen better days. I can't imagine they won't. So yeah, we'll be looking for that too. I also have an update from a very helpful crawdad who said that cast are being invited to sign up to take home some of the old outdoor dining tables and chairs, as they're all going to be replaced by some new, very comfy, but orange chairs. So they really are doing it. They're going white and orange, and I do believe there will be some pink in there too. Stand by. I can't wait to get my first eyes on some of that pink at Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen. That's not all, guys. We got more to cover. Let's keep going. We're going to Redwood Creek. It's closed, and that's because work is beginning on transforming it into Villains Grove, the single best thing that Disney does for Oogie Boogie Bash. It's amazing. I love it. There's nothing visible happening right now, but we did spot some crews walking through the place, getting ready to go, so I can't wait. Stay tuned, by the way. At the end of this video, I'll show you our Villains Grove coverage from last year with a special cameo appearance by Dallin from Offhand Disney. These walls popped up around the airplane at Grizzly Peak. Not sure why, but it's not for the plane itself. It's still there behind the walls. I couldn't show you. Camera couldn't peek through the crack, but I did see with my eyes that the plane is still there. Looks like they finally found a use for this sign out in front of what was supposed to be the Fast Pass kiosk for Avengers Campus. It's nothing right now, but that sign at least got some use. They turned it into a wait time board, so I guess that's better than nothing. Also working are the red car trolleys. At least when I shot this anyway. My previous 2 trips to DCA, they were not in operation. It's a work in progress, but it was oh so good to see this guy on Buena Vista Street again the way it should be. I never thought I would miss the red car trolleys as much as I did, but I really have, and I'm still trying to get down there. I couldn't ride on this day because I didn't have enough time. And that's it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Follow us on Instagram at _FreshBaked, on Twitter at FreshBakedDizzy, that's fresh with no E, and on TikTok at FreshBakedDizzy. And if you like our show and want to show your support, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/freshbaked. Otherwise, thanks again for watching, everybody. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. Fresh Baked.
roses. I've seen the movie. This one smells like roses.
It's incredible, the transformation of what normally would just be Redwood Creek Challenge. They've transformed this place into something unreal.
It's almost like an attraction.
It is.
It's a testament to the projection mapping too.
It's so simple too. This was here.
I don't remember this.
Oh no, this might be
No,
new.
this is new. Oh, it is so cool.
I feel like we shouldn't step on it. So that was Villains Grove. As good as I remembered it, fantastic. It feels so good being in there. I love Villains Grove. It's my favorite part of the Oogie Boogie Bash. Now, we didn't get to do a proper introduction. I am your host, Lucifer.